What's up, guys? Welcome to a new episode of the Guru Podcast. My name is Christian the Guru. I got some great football and basketball content for you guys today, so I hope you guys enjoy it. So I'm not a big Deion Sanders fan. I think he's fake and phony. I'm not a big fan of his kids either. I think they're obnoxious and they say things on the media that are just nonsense. And nobody can question Deion Sanders' play on the football field. He's one of the best football players to ever play the game. He was just amazing. But his character and his coaching abilities are very questionable. He decides to take a job at JSU, which is a HBCU school. And instead of just acting like every other coach, take your job, work hard, let your win speak for yourself, this dude start talking. He sells us this pipe dream that he's an HBCU savior, that he's gonna show everybody that kids can get to the NFL from HBCU. That is a mission that God gave him. God gave him a vision. And the first time he gets an opportunity for a better job, better pay, he decides to leave. Now he start talking about all these other issues that HBCU schools have. His office was vandalized. All these big things. He had to pay money for the kids' meal. That's like me telling you guys that I'm going back to the hood to change things and be mad because there's a shooting outside. You should have known that before going into the job. Before God giving you this dream or this mission, you should have known that there were issues with HBCU schools. So don't try to sell us this pipe dream and all of a sudden try to bring up all these problems that you should have known before you took the job. And so he decided to take a job at Colorado. And then he started talking again. I'm bringing my luggage, Louis Vuitton. Well, in reality, he was bringing FUBUs. He starts off well. He wins his first 3 games. And like always, primetime has to do something big. He starts having guys like Lil Wayne performing, coming out of the tunnel with the team. He started having guys like the Migos on the sideline. This creates distraction. Football is a team where you need a lot of cohesion. You need to work as a unit. It's 12 people that need to move as a single unit. So it requires a lot of focus and a lot of discipline. And being a terrible coach that Primetime is, he doesn't understand that. He creates all this distraction for no reason, and the team starts losing, of course. And you start seeing how bad of a coach he is. Poor clock management. His team was one of the most penalized teams in the nation. It's like they were poorly prepared, and that's bad coaching. And I just don't understand it. And all this big talk about bringing Louis Vuitton, it's not like this guy had great success in college before. He won the SWAC twice. The SWAC, compared to other big conferences, it's like a Sunday league. And so it's not like you Nick Saban. This guy's talking big talk. And the O-line start messing up. They can't protect the quarterback. You're the ones who chose all those players. And then in 2022, this guy make a list of guys he thinks that the NFL should take a look at in the draft. He makes a list of 16 players. Only 2 players from HBCUs got drafted that year. And out of those 4, only 2 were on his list. So you can't even see talent. And you mean to tell me you're supposed to be a good coach? You're supposed to recruit all these players and build up this program? In reality, Colorado is a very mediocre program. They're just happy with primetime, just selling tickets and selling merchandise. They don't care about winning because this guy will never win. He's talking about bringing Louis Vuitton. Well, all he's going to bring is Sean Johns. And then he's on Twitter fighting people at 56 years old. telling people, "Oh, I got a son who's an NFL prospect. What does your son do?" Dude, you're 56 years old. This guy that's talking crap to you doesn't even matter. And you're talking this big talk about your son. In reality, your son is a big prospect only because there's a lack of prospect in the draft. There's a lot of question about his play. It's not like this dude is gonna be for sure gonna be a star. We don't know yet. Yeah, he's a big prospect, but there is a lot of question that needs to be answered because he wasn't all that great. He held on to the ball too long. His footwork in the pocket was horrible. He took a lot of sacks. Part of the reason why he took a lot of sacks was the O-line play was just pathetic. But he also held on to the ball a lot. He didn't know how to escape from the pocket for whatever reason. And then he goes on talking about he's half Michael Vick and half Tom Brady. Dude, you got sacked so many times you couldn't evade all those big D-line coming at you, and you think you're Michael Vick. You're not that fast. In reality, you're closer to being Jamarcus Russell than being Michael Vick. Just talking just like your dad. And then he goes on talking about how he had to work hard to get to where he's at, that he's not privileged like all these other kids. Bro, you're rich. You got to train with Tom Brady. What are you talking about? And so Prime Time is just a very frustrating figure. He just talks a lot, but in reality, he's just not a good coach. Your team was poorly coached, and you're headed for another 6-win season. I just don't understand it. So you brought Louis last year. What are you bringing this year? You bringing Fubu's again? I just don't understand it. It's pathetic. I graduated from Cal State Northridge. And I remember when I was a freshman, we used to have these crazy basketball open runs. A lot of time it was just among us students. But sometimes we would get these NBA players to show up. NBA players like Paul George, DeMar DeRozan, Reggie Jackson. They would show up and start doing all this crazy stuff, shooting threes deep, windmilling during games. You could just tell they were different. And what I noticed was that the way I played when I was playing with students versus the way I played with NBA players was different. When I played with students, I wasn't scared. I would shoot everything. I never thought twice about shooting the ball. When I was playing with NBA players, I started second guessing. I started taking less risk. I started shooting the ball less because I was scared to mess up. That was an indication that I don't belong on the same court with NBA players because they can do things I just can't do, and I wasn't comfortable in my skills enough to compete with them. And that's what you're seeing with Bronny James. When the first game he played in the summer league was against the Heat. He played 29 minutes, which is a lot. He went 1 for 3, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and only had 3 points. So he didn't shoot the ball a lot. Part of the reason why he didn't shoot the ball a lot because he understands his own limitation. He understands that he's not good. So why embarrass myself? Why try to take all these shots when I know I'm not good at it? So he passed the ball a lot and stood in the corner. That's an early indication that he don't belong where he's at. But the criticism started mounting up. And I'm sure he had a conversation with his dad, and his dad probably told him, you need to be more aggressive and you need to shoot the ball more. And so he couldn't just pass the ball and stand in the corner like he was doing the first game. So he had to become more aggressive. The second game was against the Rockets. He played 27 minutes, shot the ball 14 times, and only made 3. 0 for 8 from threes. 5 rebounds, 0 assists, and 8 points. He knew that he wasn't capable of scoring. He understands that. That's why the first game he didn't want to shoot it. But you guys, the pressure and the media made him do something he's not comfortable doing, and this is the result. He struggled. 0 for 8. He couldn't make a single three. He's just a bad scorer. The game that he just played today against Boston, it was bad. He was 1 from 5 from field, 0 for 3 from threes, 3 rebounds, and 2 points in 25 minutes. In 25 minutes, you playing all these minutes, and you're one of the marquee players in the game, and you can only score 2 points against guys who won't even be in the league. I try to tell you guys this kid isn't good. You guys won't believe me. He's just not good. I'm going to give you guys more stats just to show you how bad this guy is. His highest scoring game in high school was 31 points. 31 points? That's what these NBA players average in high school. That was his highest scoring game. He played for Sierra Canyon. The team's record when he was a senior was 23-11. They were third in the league, and I believe they lost 3 league games. This is a program that has been dominating the league that they're playing, for 10 years or more. Before Bronny got there, the last time they lost 5 games or more was in 2015. So that's about 9 years ago. Since the last time they lost 5 games or more. The last time they lost a league game was in 2012. And Bronny gets there, they automatically start losing 3. Bronny leaves, and the team is back winning again. They didn't lose a league game last season, and they went 26-5. So they went from being really good from 2015 and up. Then Bronny comes, all of a sudden they go bad. They lose 11 games and 3 league games. Bronny leaves, they start winning games again. If these stats and these performances in the summer league doesn't convince you that Bronny sucks, you need therapy at this point, because nothing will convince you. What is Bronny good at? He can't shoot. Clearly he can't shoot, because he shot like 15 threes. He's only made about 2. He can't shoot, can't handle the ball. He's getting ripped left and right. He's too small to be a good rebounder. Everybody keeps telling me, oh, Bronny's a good defender. He's a good on-ball defender. I couldn't tell the way Shepard was twerking on him. So what is this guy good at? He sucks. Bronny reminds me of that LA Fitness guy who can jump out the gym, and everybody's wondering, well, this guy can jump. He's so athletic. Why is he not in the league? Why is he not playing somewhere? Because that's the only thing the guy can do. Other than running fast and jumping, he has no skills. I just don't understand it. This is purely nepotism. And it's unnecessary, because it's not like the kid comes from a poor family. He's already rich through NIL money. His dad is rich. He's taking away opportunities that a lot of kids work very hard for. Playing 27, 30 minutes just to score 2 points. And all of a sudden you guys want to defend nepotism because LeBron James is black? That's what our society has come down to? Because other people scam, then we should start defending scammers? Just because other people do it does not make it right. Nepotism is a cancer. I'm from Congo. I've seen what nepotism can do. Unqualified people in our government, unqualified people running businesses, making bad decisions that affects millions of people. And that's why my country is one of the poorest countries in the world, because of nepotism. And you guys all of a sudden want to justify it because it's your own race doing it? It's sad and pathetic. LeBron James is a bad parent. You got your kid out there getting embarrassed for no reason. There's more to life than basketball. He doesn't need this. He's not good. He could do other things. Michael Jordan kid I don't know what he does, but I know he's not playing basketball, and I'm sure he's happy. You're gonna have your people making fun of your kids, people working day and night coming up with memes. Your kid's gonna have to live with this. Every people telling him you're only made it to the league because of your dad. Why? Because you want to break some record of son and dad? It's just sad and pathetic. Why is history important? History is important because it teaches us about the past. It helps us see mistakes that other people have made in the past so that we can correct them in the future. Clearly, the future is not important for Jalen Brunson because I just don't understand the logic of the decision he just made. He signed with the New York Knicks for $156 for 4 years. Well, he could have signed for 5 years for $269 if he would have waited till next year. Basically, what I'm trying to say is he left $113 million on the table. What? Why? How? I just don't understand it. If you watch my first episode of my podcast, I talked about the Europeans and the Americans, how NBA GMs prefer Europeans because Europeans came with less baggage, less drama, less bad decisions compared to the Americans. Jalen Brunson is the opposite of that American that I described in that episode. He's no drama, works hard, doesn't complain, brings no baggage. Just a great guy. He advocates education. He graduated in 3 years and got drafted. That's pretty impressive. It's already hard enough to find a guy who gets drafted and graduates in 4 years. He did it in 3. Just an amazing guy. He went to Villanova, was a really good high school player. He played for 3 years and I believe won the national championship. And in 3 years, in his last year, he averaged 18 points, 40% from threes, 52% from the field, and 3 assists. 50% from the field is really, really good. That's very efficient. So you would think a guy like that would get picked in the first round, right? Especially after winning the championship. He gets picked in the second round, and I believe he was 33rd, selected by the Mavs. So this guy has been doubted his whole life. Part of the reason why he didn't get selected high because he's small, not the biggest, not the fastest, not the strongest. And he was also a junior, and NBA teams really like those first year or second year. So he's been doubted his whole life. He's been an underdog. Got selected by the Mavs. So he left New York all that money. It's not even like New York drafted this guy. It's not like he did it for a team that believed in him and took him. This is a team that had a chance to get him in the first round, in the 9th pick. You know who they chose to get? They chose to get Kevin Knox, some sorry-ass player who's 24 years old and is out of the league. At 24 years old, this dude has been waived so much, he doesn't even rent apartments anymore. He just gets motels. Why rent an apartment when he's going to get waived in a couple of months? That's how bad he is of a player. And that's who you left all the money for? I just don't understand it. Even in Dallas, what he did when he was a really good player, they still doubted him. He went to the conference final and he contributed a lot. Yes, he wasn't the best player. The best player was Luka. But he was the second best player and he did a lot of scoring. In the playoff, when they went to the conference final, he averaged 21 points, 40% from the field, 34 from threes, and 3 assists. They made it to the conference final, and at the end of that run, all he asked was 4 years, $55 million. That's a bargain. That's nothing compared to what that guy could bring to the table. Even though he had a great run in the playoff, the Mavs said, nah, we don't believe in your talent. We think you only did that because of Luka. Luka made you who you are. We're not going to give you all that money. So they didn't believe in him. He left and went to New York. And this is a guy who people have not believed in you for years. You have a chance to actually make a lot of money because of your hard work, and you leave that behind for a team that considers you an asset. For a team, if you stop producing, they'll get rid of you like that. I just don't understand it. Did you not hear the DeRozan story? DeRozan went to Toronto, a team that players don't like to play for. It's just too cold. T-Mac left. Vince Carter left. They finally got a really good player who actually was happy to be in Toronto and was willing to be patient and try to work with the team that they had and try to win a championship. This guy, they got eliminated, I believe, by LeBron James in the final. And he didn't play well. He talked to the management, and they agreed that, okay, let's run it back. That they're going to run it back with Kyle Lowry and the whole band. He didn't know that behind the scenes, they were looking to get rid of him. He found out that they got rid of him while he was watching a movie and his phone was getting blown up, probably by friends and stuff. So the GM didn't even give him the courtesy for the fact that he was willing to stay and play for a team that people don't like to stay and play for. He didn't even get the courtesy call from the GM like, hey, we think we're about to get rid of you. We're about to trade you for somebody. We believe that this is the best course for you and for the team. He didn't even get that. He was in the movie theater probably texting Kyle Lowry, probably talking about how they were going to run it back and average 10 points in the next playoff, just like they did every single year. So he didn't get the respect that he deserved. And I don't blame Toronto. It's business. You're an asset. They invested in you. They can get rid of you whenever you want. And so you should treat him as such. Get your money, man. You leaving all that money for a guy like Thibodeau? What do you think he's going to do with it? He doesn't believe in offense. All he's going to do is go get another Josh Hart to average 10 rebounds and 2 points and break all the threes. This guy, Thibodeau, he still believes that basketball is in the 1990s. That offense doesn't matter. That you just defend. Get guys like Josh Hart. I'm sorry, I like Josh Hart. He's a really good player, great energy. You need a guy like that in the championship team. But he was just playing too many minutes. 40 minutes to 48 minutes a game? When this guy offense is marginal at best? This guy didn't bring it. Josh Hart doesn't bring enough offense. He's a 31% free throw shooter. He shoots 43% from the field. Yeah, he averaged 8 rebounds, but that's not the job of a guard. You got big men for that. You got the forwards and the center for that. He refused to play Alec Burke, who actually gave you offense. I just don't understand this guy. He's stuck in the past. His system doesn't work. It will never win you a championship. He doesn't believe in offense. Too much defense, and he plays you too many minutes. You won't even be able to make it to the finals because you're gonna be hurt playing all those minutes. This guy is stuck. So you left that team all that money. They're not gonna get you help for scoring. They're gonna get you another Josh Hart, another guy that's just gonna play defense, and you're gonna lose every single year. I just don't understand it. And Jalen Brunson, at the end of the day, you're 6'2". You're never going to be Magic Johnson. You don't shoot the ball like Stephen Curry, so you're not going to be Stephen Curry. Why do you want to win so bad, man? You're never going to be a top 5 point guard in the world. Get your money. Winning doesn't do nothing for you. I just don't understand it. I've been hearing a lot of comparison between the 1992 Olympic team versus this year's Olympic team. And it's funny because the older generation, they're just delusional. They think the 92 is going to win. This year's generation don't play defense. They're too soft. The 92 team is too physical. They won't be able to handle it. It's so delusional. Just like when they try to put Bob Cousy as one of the best point guard in the NBA. Bob Cousy was amazing. One of the best passers we've ever seen. Yeah, because he played against dudes who work factory jobs for 8 hours and play basketball as a side gig. He's not a top point guard. Stop it. And so it's really funny when they talk about that. The real answer is this year's generation is they're gonna mollywop the 92. It won't even be a close game. It's gonna be a blowout. I'm sorry. This year's generation, they can score more. They're better athletes. They can shoot better. They can score at a higher clip. It's not even close. The Dream Team, yeah, they were amazing. Yeah, they had all these Hall of Famers. Yeah, the margin of victory was 44 points. That's because they didn't play against anybody. They didn't play against competition. The basketball was not global like it is now. The NBA didn't have a lot of international players like they have now. Things have changed now. It's not even close. In all of the opposition that the US team faced that year, those teams only had total of 6 NBA players. 2 of them were from Croatia because Croatia was the second best team after the US. And a lot of the NBA players that are within that 6, a lot of them they weren't really stars or big names. Other than Tony Kukoc, a lot of them were just regular players. So they didn't play against any competition. Yeah, so of course you would have scored, you would have beat them by 44 points. Now it's different. Now look at France. They got Wemby, they got Gobert. That's 2 already. And they got the other one from New York. I'm not sure if he plays for New York anymore, but they got Fournier. Here we go. They got Fournier. Australia got about 4 NBA players. Serbia got about 2. So you now teams are playing. Not the US is playing against guys who play in the NBA. They play at a high level. You're playing against Jokic. That's 3-time NBA MVP. 2 or 3, I'm not sure. I mean, the guy's been good for the last 5 years. He's just been amazing. And so this year's competition is way better than any competition that the 92 faced. And even if we start complaining player by player, it's not even close. Embiid is the starter, the center for this year. Patrick Ewing was the center back then. I mean, Embiid is gonna abuse Patrick Ewing. It won't even be close. They got Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan is great. Michael Jordan is the best player I've ever seen. And I don't care what anybody does in this year's generation. They can score as many points as they want. If you can win 6 championships in a row, you got all these smart dudes in the league, game planning, watching your tape, day and night trying to find your weaknesses. And for 6 straight years, they couldn't find it. That's amazing. So no one's going to take that away from Michael Jordan from me. But that's not enough. This generation just got way too much power. They got too much firepower. I can even start questioning some of the Hall of Fame statuses from some of these 92 players. A player like Scottie Pippen. I love Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen was a hell of a player. He won a lot of championships. But Scottie Pippen is not a Hall of Fame talent. He's just not. If Michael Jordan was not on the team, he wouldn't be a Hall of Famer. In today's NBA, he's Aaron Gordon. A guy that's there for defense, can score, but not a great scorer, not a great shooter, can initiate offense, can guard 1 through 5. So that's what he is. Aaron Gordon is not a Hall of Famer. Could Aaron Gordon be a Hall of Famer if Denver keep winning championships? Sure. But him alone, he's just not a Hall of Famer. And Magic Johnson was too old. Larry Bird was too old. Who's John Stockton gonna stop, man? I mean, this year's generation, they're big, tall, and fast. Who's John Stockton gonna stop? It's just not. It's not close. This year's generation will mollywop the 92. Just too much offense. So I've been very critical of Angel Reese. I've told you guys that She's not really much of a hooper. She's not that talented either. She wants to be a pop star. She wants to be a celebrity. She wants people to talk about her. She wants people to talk about her relationship with Shador or with whoever. Is she single? Is she not? She does not have the drive to be great like Caitlin Clark. And it showed in the last game that they played. I'm not sure if it was the last game, but it was the game on Sunday when they played against Liberty, when Sabrina was waxing them. She was on a streak, a double streak. I think it was 15, and she wanted to keep her streak going in a game that they need to win because they're in the WNBA. The top 8 teams qualify for the playoff, and they're right there. They're 8th. So any more losses, they could drop to 9 and be in danger to miss the playoff. So they need all the win they can get. In the game that they really needed, 13 minutes, it was like 13 seconds left. They were down by 15, I think. And this girl is calling for the ball because she's 2 points away from having a double-double to increase her streak to 16. You're more worried about increasing your streak instead of winning? You're literally statting. You openly statting. That's sad and pathetic. And I'm not surprised because I already told you that's who she is. She doesn't have the drive to be great. She's worried. Instead of worrying about the playoff, the team missing it out, you're actually worried about your own stats. And quite honestly, the streak is not that impressive. You miss a lot of layups and you catch your own rebounds. And instead of working on your game, being in the gym, you're on social media talking about you don't fly man out. Of course you don't fly man out. You make $70K a year. You can barely afford Spirit. What are you talking about? So it will really be a travesty if Caitlin Clark doesn't win Rookie of the Year because she's just done much better. She cares more. This girl wants to be a pop star. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited for the Olympics. It's going to be a great tournament. And obviously, I think the U.S. is going to win. I watched the U.S. versus Australia today. I thought it was a great game. I'm very surprised by what Josh Giddey was able to do out there. My God, this dude was the best player out there outside of Anthony Davis. He was getting to the rim at will, dishing out, rebounding. He almost had a triple-double with 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. And that's when I realized, I saw the criticism that he got last playoff, that he was useless, couldn't really do much. After watching him, because I didn't watch him before, I didn't really watch him that much, because he wasn't on TV like that. After watching him in the playoff and watching him in these exhibitions, I'm starting to understand what the issue. The issue was the fit. They had, in OKC, they tried to turn this guy into an off-ball player. Basically, he was playing off of Shea and Jalen Williams. He can't play off ball. He can't shoot. Even in this tournament, he airballed at least twice. So he can't shoot. So he can't play off ball. He needs to be on ball. He needs the ball in his hands. You need to put the ball in his hands so he can make plays, make reads. And he's really good at that. He has really good vision and he has really good decision making. And so that's the reason why he's struggling with OKC. So I really think now that he's with Chicago, I believe, I really hope that they did their homework and they need to understand what kind of system they need to put him in. I don't know how they're going to mesh with Zach LaVine. I'm not a big fan of Zach LaVine. I don't think he's a winning player. He's been playing in the league for 10 years, doesn't really do much. Just a guy that just fills up the stat sheet, but not really a winning player. And so I thought that was it. The score, it was pretty close, but it wasn't really close. If you really watch the game, the U.S. really dominated from start to finish. I think at the end, the U.S. just got sloppy and started turning the ball over. They had 18 turnovers. That's a lot. I think Australia shot the ball poorly from the 3. They shot about 22%. and you have to make threes to beat the U.S. You really do. But I like the offense. I felt like the offense gave the U.S. a little bit of trouble, a lot of motion, a lot of pick and roll, a lot of dribble handoff, and those dribble handoff create issues because the U.S. were doing a lot of switching, and I think they capitalized a lot on those. They threw the ball on the inside a lot. They got a lot of points inside off of those dribble handoff and pick and roll because there was a lot of switching and a lot of time a big would end up being on us on the guard, and they took care of that. They took advantage of that. Sorry. Ant-Man, I would criticize them a lot for that comment that he made that he should be the number one option. I thought he should let it come naturally. It's something that you earn. It's not something that's given to you. And quite honestly, he's earning it, man. This dude is unbelievable. He's out there just scoring effortlessly. It's just beautiful to see. He had 14 points today, 4 rebounds and 2 assists. And it's just amazing to me how athletic he is, but he has a really soft touch. That pull up is there all day for a guy that's that quick, that's able to get by people that easily. If that pull up game, if his pull up game is gonna be that consistent, as consistent as what I'm seeing right now, whew, the league is in trouble. So he's the best player on the U.S. team, hands down. He's able to score easy, without even breaking the sweat. Anthony Davis was the best player today. He had 17 points and 20 He had about I think 17 rebounds and probably 17 points, something like that. He dominated on the board. He was just a beast. Devin Booker had 16 points. LeBron James was just old. He looked old out there. He smoked a few layups, routine layups that he usually makes. He was just his reaction was slow to things. He just looks old to me. He just really does. I think there are ways that you can exploit the U.S. defense defensively. I don't think it's going to be enough, but there's definitely ways. And one of the ways you can exploit you can exploit them is by making Stephen Curry play. If you make Stephen Curry play defense, you can have some success doing that way. And another way is you can exploit them is by having having a lot of pick and roll and having a lot of dribble handoff because Embiid he doesn't want to guard. He doesn't want to be out there switching. He doesn't really want to move his feet like that. And so when you have this dribble handoff, you force him to make a decision. Do I switch? Do I go? And I felt that Australia got a lot of buckets off of that. And I think that teams can learn from that. Which is one of the reasons why I don't think France has a chance. I really don't think France has a chance to beat the US. I feel like their offense is not dynamic enough. Wemby is the best player. Gobert is in there clogging up the lane, and so um, he can't make the right reads off of pick and rolls, and so the guard plays is poor for France, and so I don't think France has a chance. I haven't watched Germany yet, but I hear they're good, so I'm gonna try to watch them next couple of days. But I've watched Serbia, I've seen France, and I've seen Australia, and I think Serbia has a really good chance. I think Australia obviously has a chance in Canada. We'll see. We'll see what I get from watching Germany, but it's gonna be tough to beat the U.S. It really is. I don't think nobody can do it. Even if you exploit everything that I just mentioned, they just got too much firepower. Because before there were two ways to beat them. There was two ways to beat the U.S. One was the lack of shooting. A lot of time the U.S. shooting was iffy, and so they would miss a lot of threes, and you could beat them that way. And another way to beat them used to be having size, which is how they lost a couple years ago. Um, I forgot who it was. Lithuania. Somebody beat them, but they were just dominating them on the board. Now with Embiid, it's just impossible. It's just impossible to beat them. They got too much shooting. Even when they don't play well, they can still beat you with just straight talent. Devin Booker was making some unbelievable shots. They just got talent everywhere, and I don't think anybody can beat them, honestly. So I got the U.S. winning. It's just impossible. But overall, it's gonna be a great tournament. I'm excited. So we'll see.